What's up guys? As I have successfully made positive cash flow with my first Airbnb, I can now review the awful decisions that many Airbnb beginners make. So what on earth is it? The horrible mistake made by most, but not all, Airbnb owner is overestimating revenue and underestimating expenses. A pretty big issue. Unexpensive mistake could cause Airbnb owners to lose money quickly and cause fiasco. Starting an Airbnb is nerve-wracking. Many beginners worry about costly decisions, and for good reason. The decision to commit $50,000, $100,000 to an investment and devote your time to it could be one of the most important decisions you ever make. Of course, it's natural to have a lot of questions and concerns. I was worried and scared when I first started my Airbnb. I did not know what to do or even where to start. Luckily, I was successful right from the start, earning an average of $5,000 in revenue a month. After paying all the expenses, I could take home $2,000 in cash flow. However, it did not mean that I did not make mistakes. I certainly did, and I learned of some from others. So hopefully this video will tip you over to the entrepreneur side and make your decision to start your first Airbnb. I want to share the lessons I learned because I believe opportunities are available all around us. There are so many opportunities such that I cannot do it myself, but you can. If I could help one person to improve their financial situation and their family's lifestyle, I would be very happy. But I don't want to share something that I have not done myself. I will tell you the stories I know. Only when I have a proven track record of a successful Airbnb business model will I share my personal mistakes. I'm happy if you apply it for yourself. Overestimating revenue and underestimating expenses cause complete failure to someone who just started Airbnb and even to some veteran Airbnb owners. In some cases, it could cost the owner to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard it right. So, how to start a successful Airbnb? Start by putting the number together. As a beginner, you should ask these questions. What is the competition in the area? What is the demand in the area? The formula to calculate revenue for Airbnb is nightly rate times number of nights booked equal average annual revenue. The formula to calculate expenses for Airbnb can be done in two ways. First, add up all the costs. Estimate the cost of cleaning, repair, household supplies, management, insurance. Click below for a full list of all expenses for Airbnb business. Next comes the percentage of revenue. You could quickly estimate the percentage of the expenses. For example, if you provide a high-end 5 stars experience, your expense could be as high as 80% of your revenue. If you provide a reasonable price and reasonable Airbnb experience, your expense could be in the realm of 60%. I spent days and nights testing my strategies. I also put in 19 hours to make these videos to make it easy for you. Don't forget to smash the like button, and the Google algorithm will show this video to more people. If more more people learn my strategy and become successful, I'm elated. Let me know below in the comment that you smash it to help me keep going and share more of my journey stories. Renting out an Airbnb is seasonal, unlike long-term rental, depending on where your property is located and what type of experience you provide. Such as a beach house, mountain house, the booking will be greatly different. For example, a house at the beach is usually super busy during the summer season. A house in a mountain near a ski area is usually busy during the winter. Here is the example of the difference with the same property. The high seasonal price could be $300 a night, while a low season stay could drop to $140 a night, but it's still income. So remember to take into consideration of both the high and low seasons, then average out the revenue. On the other hand, some expenses are not seasonal. Some are part of overhead, meaning fixed cost, not impacted by seasonal bookings. These are expenses you always have to pay. Overhead costs are the mortgage payments, insurance, business licenses, management fees, accounting fees, and the like. Another type of expenses is variable cost, meaning it changes depend on the number of guests who stay at your place. For example, during the busy season, you will have high bills for utilities, trash services, cleaning services, seasonal maintenance, etc. Be sure to know the amount of fixed and variable costs, so you could add these up for the year. Revenue can also slightly different year by year. Some years when it's dry, there will be less traffic going for skiing trips. When the weather allows, business could be booming. Be sure to estimate the changes, not just seasonally, but yearly. When you are in the business for a few years, you will be able to closely estimate the average annual revenue. Be sure to allocate unexpected expenses. Things could happen that you do not anticipate. For example, the water pipes could break unexpectedly and will need to be fixed right away. Be sure to allocate these high tickets, occasional expenses into your calculations. It's great when a beginner Airbnb owner decides to pull the plug, but jumping into an investment without proper planning and research could damage the investor's capital. That's why I'm here to help. What happens when a beginner Airbnb owner makes a mistake? Getting out of an unprofitable Airbnb investment is disastrous and cumbersome. While I don't even want to go there, the best course of action is to be very certain about your forecast numbers. Sure, it's never an easy task, and the projected number could change. Investing does involve risks and uncertainties, but try as hard as you could to minimize the risks. It's my way of doing business. I have seen people who got burned and lost a lot of money. I don't want that to happen to you. For example, when I see an Airbnb listing for sale, I looked into the local areas and checked the potential revenue. Most of the time, the business is not sustainable, and many Airbnb owners have to dump their property. Join to learn more on my Facebook group, How to Save, Invest, and Grow. You will find more lessons and strategies on how to be successful from hundreds of other Airbnb owners and investors. So how to avoid an Airbnb beginner mistake? There's a number of primary ways to solve this problem. Reduce your estimate revenue. Be conservative. Do not choose a high nightly rate for your calculation. Choose a lower rate that may likely be the case when guests book. Or you could always reduce your estimate revenue into 80%, 85% to ensure that you will not overestimate your revenue. Increase your estimate expenses. Be aggressive and allocate higher costs for repairs, especially when you repair a short-term rental. Your short-term rental Airbnb would need to be fixed immediately, unlike long-term rental where you have more time to arrange the repairs. Always remember you have to pay higher price for short notice services. To calculate your annual expenses, add more expenses to your estimate. For example, you could use 110% or 120% of your original estimate expenses. How much should you add or reduce in your calculation for revenue and expenses? It largely depends on your risk tolerance. There's no absolute answer. There are additional solutions to ensure the success of short-term rental property. Add unexpected repair. Give yourself some extra cushion. Be sure to add some extra for expenses. Don't forget to add your annual repairs. This may be overlooked because you don't have to deal with it daily. Put down the numbers so you could consistently save up to pay for these catastrophe expenses. It could be fire, hurricane, flood, or even a pandemic as in 2020. It's always advisable to put aside a reasonable amount for catastrophe event. You never know. Note, this is not to scare you from starting your first Airbnb when the number makes sense. I believe you should make the decision to follow your dream. Don't be discouraged if the number does not work out. All you need is to continue to search for the right property. The last thing I want to happen is you make a mistake and lose hundreds of thousands. Question for you. What other mistake do you think an Airbnb owner may make? Share below and I will share with other mistakes that I have learned about. If you still have questions or concerns that you need to ask before you start your Airbnb, write a question in the comment below and I could give you a solution that could help you. SmartCoaching.com secret. Know your numbers.